New details in on what could be a massive auto worker strike across the country, including right here in Louisville. The UAW president just unveiled the union's plan to walk off the line if it can't reach an agreement with the big three Detroit automakers. That's Ford, GM, and Stellantis by tomorrow night. The union says its strike would be a staggered version. Specific plants called to the picket line one at a time. We'll learn more about which plants could strike first and if either of the Louisville factories would be included at 10 p.m. tomorrow. The union says it will add more local chapters to that picket line as long as the bargaining goes on.
But I do believe the beauty of the stand-up strike is that it provides us the maximum flexibility moving forward to have the most effective means of striking that we can put forth to get the best result we need for our membership.
Let's bring in WDRB business reporter Chris Otts to really dig into what might happen here. So it sounds kind of like a staggered plan to maybe continually increase even more and more pressure to get maybe a deal struck?
Yeah, correct. So one thing that has not ever happened is the automakers striking all three of these companies at the same time. They typically pick one. Well, now what they're going to do is pick certain plants, and we don't know which plants yet. And the idea is that the automakers also don't know which plants. You know, Fain talked about keeping them guessing. The logistics of having to think through how they manage through something when, you know, this plant's on strike, but that one's operating. But wait, next week, this one's on strike, and these are operating. He said they still could go full bore and just strike all of the plants, all three companies. But what was not said is that that also would be expensive for the union. They have strike pay that they provide their workers, and their fund would not last all that long if they had everyone out at once. And of course, it's easier, more manageable for workers to get paid than not. So this is a sort of surgical approach.
Yeah. And it could obviously impact all three at once, like you say, instead of just one. Let's get down to the brass tacks here. We know they're asking for about 40% wage hike over 4 years, 10% a year. The 4-day work week and the pension restored are the three biggies. The chances of getting the 4-day work week seem slim to you?
Yeah, I think there are certainly some things that are more likely to go through than others. Return to traditional pensions, very big ask. But return to cost of living increases that are not sort of lump sum bonuses, but that actually depend on what's happening out there in the economy. Auto workers and everybody else have been burned by inflation over the last 2 years. They've really felt it. They feel they're going backwards in their wages. And one thing that they used to have was inflation protection. And they would like to see that restored, for example. So, I mean, there are a lot of demands that they have made. And of course, they're not all likely to be met, but they are seeking to really go forward in this contract and win back things that they used to have that they gave up, thinking that this would be temporary. The companies were bankrupt in the Great Recession and they need to come out of it. Well, now they're making billions of dollars and they want their share.
Any chance, real quickly, Chris, that this could settle up before that midnight deadline tomorrow?
There is still a chance. I will say the intel that I've been getting, it's unlikely. I think what Shawn Fain just said means that it's unlikely. He basically said that it's unlikely. They're too far apart. And the other thing here for our local audience, I'm hearing that it's unlikely that at least at first the Louisville plants would be part of the action, but of course it will expand and grow. So, and we don't know for sure yet, we should say.
WDRB business reporter Chris Otts, thanks for your insight.